guys, welcome to my little YouTube video. This is the first one. All my friends told me that I should talk about how to make matcha tea. I don't drink matcha tea though, so I'm gonna make chai tea latte for y'all, and then we'll get into photography and stuff. So got my boiling water right here. Look at my little mug. It's from Wyoming. But anyways, I don't have, I literally have one of those like ring light things for my phone, and then I'm videoing on my phone's camera because don't want to use my nice camera and I can't find my charger to my GoPro. So while my chai tea water is boiling, I do nothing. So it's 3/4 of a cup of water. Then you add in almond milk, and the recipe calls for honey, but I don't really like putting honey in stuff, so I just put a little bit of sugar. Very good. There's my chai tea recipe for the day. Also, here's my little Wyoming mug. There's bears on it. So cute. So today I'm going to go through my editing process for you for my photography. Let's get started. So this is the photo that I was talking about. This is my friend Noah. She had on this beautiful black and white long dress, floor-length dress, and I came in and we posed her in the studio, did a bunch of things. She was giving me these Audrey Hepburn kind of vibes, and then I went in and I added these white polka dots in the background because I just wanted a little bit more, a little bit like pizzazz into the photo. So this is my raw image, and I turned it into black and white on Lightroom, and then I take it into Photoshop. It'll do it. So now that the photo's in Photoshop, I have my black and white image, and none of it's retouched yet. She still has these hairs, and then there's this thing that's on my sensor that I need to clean really bad. This floor is messy. I need to go in, kind of even out this dress down here, even out these rivets in the side. So those are the things that whenever I first look at an image, it's what all do I need to do. I selected her. I usually just use this select subject because it's a really awesome quick selection tool, and I copy and paste her, and then I come in and I bring our PNG in and fit it to where I want it to be. What I also did though is I changed it. I put it on divide because I wanted it to be white polka dots, so it was a little bit more of a contrast. And then I took the opacity down and put it down to like 65 or so that it would it wouldn't take away from my subject at all. After that, I went in and retouched everything that I would normally do. So now we are going to take this image and we are going to do skin retouching and everything on it. So with this picture, I have not toned it, adjusted it, anything at all. So we are going to start from the very beginning and go all the way to the end. So let's begin. The first thing that I noticed is my nasty sensor that I really need to get cleaned. Some background things that I need to take out. Her hair is a little bit messy. Her bangs and her face. So all those blemishes I'm going to go ahead and remove right now. And what I use for blemishes is I go in with the healing brush, the spot healing brush, and sometimes a clone tool. This is the healing brush tool. I press option, sample a spot by clicking, and then just taking it out. And where this little target is where my sample spot is at. What the healing brush tool does is it takes areas of where my sample spot is and it blends it with the area that I'm using spot healing brush does not do targets. Takes an estimate of everything around, and sometimes it doesn't work. It can be hit or miss, but for the most part, I use it a lot. Right now, it's acting a little bit weird, so we'll go more onto the skin. I don't know why it's doing that. Oh. I like to keep it on content wear. So right there, we just take it away, and it keeps the same texture around. It just takes away, pulls the same colors, the same texture, just pixels from surrounding areas. And with the clone tool, it literally copies whatever you're cloning. So if I want to clone her eye, it's right there. And to retouch skin with it, very similar to the healing brush, except it's not blending, it's cloning, so that's why I have this difference right here versus with the healing brush. If I did that, it would blend it. And right now I'm being a little bit sloppy just because I'm showing you guys, but that's what it does. So now I'm going to move on to dodge and burn. I have a action saved, and another time I will go through and explain all of these two actions that I have. But my dodge and burn layer is painted with a brush at a really low opacity of about 15. And the flow, I keep it around the same. They're two curves layers, and it'll, whenever I'm painting on with dodge, it like lifts that dark spot on her face, and whenever I'm painting with burn, it'll darken it. So let me show you on her nose. See how I'm just painting over it and it's just barely lightening it. I love doing dodge and burn. It feels like I'm doing like a coloring book. Like, it's so much fun to me. I get super into it. Like, sometimes for no reason at all, I will go crazy on a photo. I'll spend like 2 hours just on dodge and burn. Like, I'll get so into it, and then I'm like, hold on, like, she looks like a porcelain doll, so I'll have to turn the opacity of my layer down to like 30%. Every single photographer or retoucher out there has totally gotten into a photo before, spent like 16 hours on one, and then, you know, their eyes are burning at the end of it, and it's like way too much, and they're proud of it, and then they look at it the next day and they're like. So now that I'm finished with dodge and burn, or for the most part I'm happy with it, I think I might lighten up this area just a little bit. I just want to show you, this is full opacity. This is before, this is after. You see how we still have all of this texture right here. These are her natural pores. So with my opacity layer on the dodge and burn, here's it all the way down at 0. Start going up from there until I see a spot that looks natural, not too overdone. Here's 100%, and see, that's just a little bit too much for me, so I like to bring it back down, bring back in. Like, it's natural for your skin to have uneven tones, so we're just going to bring that back in a little bit. I usually end up settling at like 60% or so, and I think that that's about where I'm going to settle at. We're going to go at 60, before and after. See a big change, but nothing too drastic. Like, her skin just looks beautiful, and that's what I go in into. So now the next step is I'm going to clean up her lips where her makeup is. And I think that's about the only other thing that I need to clean up, maybe just some hair streaks over here. So now I will be moving on to the eyes. So what I do for the eyes is right now I'm going to take all of these layers and group them, and I'm going to name that retouching. My retouching is finally done. That took a long time. So for my eyes, what I do is create an empty layer and I fill it with 50% gray, and I turned the blending mode onto overlay, so it goes right back to where it was. And all I do is take my paintbrush and just take it, brush over the whites of her eyes. After I do that, I just take the opacity down, you see. Now, for toning and color correcting, I've been waiting to do this the whole time. What I like to do is duplicate all the layers and merge them together, like I just did. And then I go onto filter, do a camera raw filter. Oh, before I go onto filter and do the camera raw filter, I convert the layer that I just created into a smart object. That way, when you put a camera raw filter onto it, you can go back onto the filter and adjust it as needed. I'm gonna play around with the toning. I tend to take my images and push them more on like that bluish teal side. I think it looks so pretty when it contrasts against like skin tone colors like this. But might just take it down a tiny bit. Oh, you know, kind of also really love this like orangey tone. Greenish kind of. Okay, I kind of think I'm gonna stick with this orangey tone, this like yellow. I never do that. That is not my style at all, but I feel like it matches really well with this outfit. So now I'm going to do selective color. So I'm going to name this layer color grade, and we're going to go back through. Here's the beginning image, here's our retouching, here's our eyes, here's our final edit. But there we are. So my Q&A didn't work as well, but I'll do that another time. But that's how I edit my portraits, and hopefully I'll have something to show you guys, something new to edit for y'all next week. Thank you for tuning in, and yeah, see you later.